So, yeah, that kind of happened. I never expected a video of mine that only had 70 views for the first week to blow up like that. How's it going today, guys and gals? My name is Gene, and welcome to the very first follow-up meeting to a theory video of mine. First and foremost, I wanted to thank each and every one of you guys who watched it, liked it, and decided to subscribe to my very small channel. It's a truly weird experience waking up one morning and seeing several people comment, CancelYmir. I've had a fun time reading all the comments and enjoying all the interactions with you all. I wanted to make this follow-up because there's a few things I'd like to correct from my first video, provide more proof to my theory, discuss the divide between the fan base, and read some other theories because I think it's fun creating a discussion. And finally, I have a little video for all of you all who want to cancel Ymir. If there's a certain part of the video you'd like to watch more than others, I'm going to put timestamps in the descriptions, so feel free to watch the whole video or skip to the part that most interests you. Without further ado, let's jump into this, shall we? I think my favorite experience throughout all of this was the many people who expressed their agreeance or disagreements to my video. In my previous video, I expressed that my ideas were only that of opinions from what I gathered from the story. My main goal in sharing my thoughts are not to change minds, but to open them. I even loved those who disagreed with what I said because they explained their disagreement. Everyone was cordial. Only one person in the comment section was wilding out. I'm not in the business of being right. At the end of the day, only one man and one staff knows what the rest of the story holds. What I want to do now is discuss particular things that I feel were taken out of context in my last video, or things I just got wrong. First is the definition of grooming. Unfortunately, this word has a lot of negative connotation to it. I'm assuming due to everyone wanting to cancel Ymir, they took it in a sense of wanting a sexual relationship aspect. This is not the case at all. Even though the second definition on Google states that grooming is the action by a pedophile of preparing a child for a meeting, especially via internet chat room, with the intention of committing a sexual offense. However, other places like NSPCC says grooming is when someone builds a connection with a child. Yes, it can be in the practice mentioned above, but it can also be used for the groomer's gain. For example, if a child is brought up in a gang environment, he or she could be groomed into thinking that that particular behavior is normal. In the sense of my last video, I want to discuss the events that led me to believe Ymir groomed Eren to believe that the rumbling was the only way. Second thing I wanted to bring up was the act of manipulation or control. In the video, I mentioned how I think that this particular moment Eren is being controlled by Ymir. Maybe I should have worded it a bit better because some thought I meant throughout the whole story, Ymir has been controlling / manipulating Eren's decisions. However, all of Eren's decisions were his own choice, like the recent declaration of war and wanting to free Ymir. I do only believe Ymir fed him specific memories to believe that these were the choices he had to make, but they were all his choice. I only believe now, at this particular moment in the middle of the rumbling, Eren seems to be controlled by Ymir. Going back to the example of the child who was groomed in a gang life, the choices he / she makes revolves around what they view as normal and correct and needed. Yes, what they were fed by adults may seem normal, but to others it may be seen as odd or even criminal. Now time for things I've got wrong or just didn't mention correctly. First off is the curse of Ymir. I mentioned how 13 of her own people accused her, and that's where the curse originated from. I do feel this plays some sort of role in the curse, but the real curse of Ymir is brought up back in chapter 88 when Eren explains that due to Ymir only having Titan powers for 13 years, no one may surpass her. Also, I mentioned that Eren told no one his plan of the rumbling, which that is also false because he told Flock and Yelena his plan. Again, for those who still disagree with me, that is totally justified. I just feel it was necessary to break down things that were taken out of context, but it's now time to provide a bit more support for my theory. So my main idea is that Ymir is the bad guy in this series, and due to Eren freeing her, she's on this rampage, not only to finish the rumbling, but to bring the Titans back to Paradise and destroy them as well. If we remember, the first victims of the rumbling were the Eldians on the island. I don't know why I forgot to mention Armin's monologue from chapter 135. Here he determines that the resistance is coming from Ymir, and her plan is to massacre all of humanity. And at the end of chapter 136, when Armin meets Zeke, Zeke says, "So, Ymir ate you too." That scene doesn't answer the grooming theory, but I do feel it's allowing us readers to know the real villain is Ymir, or the spine centipede that attached to her. I feel in the next chapter Zeke is going to explain more of this, and I hope we get more answers to the theory or to just any theory in general. Again, if Ymir is the villain, this does not justify any of Eren's actions. Now, going back to Ymir's flashbacks, I mentioned it seems there's a sense of falsehood due to the fact that chapter 135 shows that she in fact did release the pigs. The reason why I'm bringing this particular issue back up again is because we need to pay attention to both panels and notice the character's eyes. Throughout her whole flashback, every character had their eyes shaded in, and when she's freeing the pigs, they weren't. In the last episode of Attack on Titan, during Tiber's play, I noticed that the actors had blindfolds on, and when I went back to the manga, I noticed it was there as well. Now, what is the point I'm trying to make here? What I'm trying to establish is that the past might be falsified whenever a character's eyes aren't shown. In Tiber's story, he states that the history that was taught was a lie, and his play was the true history. And yes, he claims this is true because of the memories given from the Warhammer Titan, but what really makes this true? Isn't this only a play to spread more propaganda to declare war on Paradis? History on all sides taught in Attack on Titan has been mainly some sort of propaganda, so why do we have to believe Tiber's story is any different? Same can be applied to Ymir's flashback. I went back through most of Attack on Titan, and during every flashback scene, the characters don't have their eyes shaded in, no matter whose flashback it is. The only one who does is Ymir, and in 135, when we get Ymir's flashback, her eyes aren't shaded in. But this time, it paints her in a more negative light. Other scenes that I feel support my idea are when Ymir reconstructs Zeke after he got blown up. Yes, the time travel theory states that this probably is just Eren sending Ymir to Zeke, but again, with Ymir showing more control, it seems unlikely. Eren can't give orders to Ymir because he possesses no royal blood. But in chapter 122, he doesn't order her to be free, he allows her to be free. Again, I could be wrong, but I do feel we're going to learn a lot in the next coming 3 chapters whether the ultimate villain is either Ymir, Eren, or the centipede-like creature. From all the comments I've gotten, it seems like the fan base is divided into 2 groups. Those who feel Eren is the true villain, and those who don't trust Ymir. Obviously, it's quite clear what side I take in the matter, but I can understand where others are coming from. Eren had a massive character development. His edgy attack-first character shifted to this realist who sees no option to resolve this world's issues. He doesn't care who he hurts or has to use to achieve his goal. It's excellent character writing, and I can understand how people view Ymir being the mastermind as ruining his character development. And listen, if Eren is in fact the one who is in control, and Ymir did nothing wrong at all, I'll enjoy just as well. Even if the fan base is divided, I think the beauty in this world is that we're all free to have our own opinions. In a sense, you can say this goal and desire was what Eren wants all along. With only 3 chapters remaining, we should just all sit back and get ready to support the end to an amazing story. Like Spike Spiegel always says,
Two nozzle won't work either.
What? Are you for real? We can't live
Oh, well.
without them. I knew I should've
Whatever
loved you.
happens,
I'm only 18.
happens.
I don't want to die yet. I've never even been with a woman. Somebody help!
At this point of the video, I like to spread the word of other people's theories who commented in my last video. I think this is a great way to spread other people's ideas and create more of a discussion. If you did comment on my video, your theory, and do not want it to be in this video, please just let me know in the comments below, and then I'll go ahead in the YouTube studio and trim your section out. First, we're going to have William Gowes Jr. I knew something didn't feel right in that one chapter where Eren and Ymir were standing next to one another. I know Ymir was a slave, but she was one of those people that kept the victim mentality and gets her power. She was just a girl that was given way too much power, especially in the mentality she was in. Although Marley still does treat Eldians wrong, especially the ones that are still in Marley, she's gotta know that she isn't the only one in this situation. She literally just wants to see the world burn, but at the same time, she comes from a messed up background. I love this video. This actually makes me realize a lot. Also, the comments also made me think of a theory. I saw this one comment saying, why would she send the Titan to heal Zeke? If this Eren being a slave is true, and my victim mentality thing is true, and if Ymir is going to be reborn through Historia, then that means Ymir might just want to feel like the master. I mean, think about it. This would make everyone fall for her plan, which would make everyone her slave. And if Paradis is the only island where humans are standing after the rumbling, that means Ymir would be reborn as a royal status. you have the non-Jaegerist and the Jaegerist fighting. That means Ymir will be born under royal status, making her the next master. Then she would be the next ruler. This would make time repeat itself, like Armin said. They gotta stop Ymir before it's too late, if my theory is true. If my theory is true, Isayama is gonna have all the fans shook. All this because of her. Eren seeing the past, the Titans healing Zeke, all of it just for her to be on top. Almost everyone's Titan power and abilities from her. I won't even be bothered if she decided to take everyone's power in the next chapter. They're getting closer and closer to Eren, and even Armin is in the Titan realm. Eye emoji facing that way. Then, erect as a duck. I made a theory on this that Ymir is using Eren for her freedom, or Gain basically trapping Eren in a trance. That's what we saw when he was in the clouds and using his body to be able to use the Founder's powers and kill everyone for her death and enslavement. Remember, the heart and the brain need one another, and each power is based off specific body parts like Eren. He has the heart and Ymir has the brain. Technically, she would need Eren to use her powers since he can manifest herself in paths. Then we have Tongol Pingdang. My theory is simple. In the end, this is all about the message. It will have no happy ending or pleasant ending. It doesn't matter since it's just fictional. What's the matter is the message. Message about maybe war is bad or something like that. Good people become bad and destroy the world because it made him suffer. No one can stop him from killing everyone. The end. And finally, we have labels Keenum, YouTube. I feel like the grooming theory doesn't make sense, where Eren convinces Ymir to make her own decisions. The scene where Zeke is ordering her to wipe out the Eldians while Eren is giving her the choice and asks her. The theory is interesting, and I've wondered something similar, especially with the chapter titled To You 2,000 Years From Now, and vice versa, one of the more recent chapters. It does feel like Ymir is planting messages in the Attack Titan's head, guiding Kruger to Gresha to Eren, and the Attack inevitably taking the Founders from its weak-willed holders and doing what no one else would. I think the vow of war could essentially be Ymir's Stockholm Syndrome in effect, where she feels it's her duty to keep course of people going. Since the idea was passed one of the Fritz Kings in the past, with that said, I think Ymir was stuck in the mindset that this was her duty, and didn't have much to play in Eren's development. Another side note, another theory I have is that the Founders also has foresight, and Fritz knew that one of the Founders down the line would destroy the world, which is why he vowed against war from happening. He probably didn't know when it was going to happen, so he tried to keep a grip on the Bloodline's ideals, and by keeping the pacifist, not knowing that it wasn't going to be a Fritz that started the rumbling. Also, why the hell did King Fritz erect huge walls of Titans if he possibly saw the rumbling, and that it was done by massive Titans? Honestly, this whole show makes it incredibly hard not to ramble and go on tangents and try to make sense of it all. There's so much to think, so much questions. Alright, tangent over. Let me know which one of these theories you like in the comments below. Okay, so you either skipped to this part or watched it all from the beginning. Either or, hope you enjoy this little video, and hopefully we can actually #CancelYmir.
Seem pretty comfortable there.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
All right, how are you doing?
What's happening?
Not too much.
Not too much. So what are you up to tonight?
Not a whole lot.
Well, I'll tell you, for the last several days, you've been up to a lot. You're a pretty prolific chatter there. You want to explain yourself?
Not really. I never really was going to do anything.
You weren't really going to do anything.
No.
So you brought condoms. What else did you bring?
I brought a bracelet.
Besides all this chat here, and we'll go through that in a minute, you also sent a whole bunch of memories. Now, why would you think that's appropriate?
It's not.
It's not. What do you think ought to happen to you?
I think I should go to counseling to get off the internet. I got to do some things I can't do that. Oh my God.
Well, there's something I got to tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on
God.
Now, you're free to walk out of this house right now. But if there's anything else you want to say, now would be the time to say it.
She has nothing further to say and tries to make a quick exit, apparently not knowing what's in store for him outside.
Sheriff's office, down! Get down!
He's taken to the local police.
And Anyway, that is going to be it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed the follow-up video. Again, thank you all for the support on the last video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you don't want to miss another AA meeting. This has been Gene of Ascension Anime, and I'll see you next time. Ciao. Also, I wanted to take this moment to shout out everyone who commented in my last video. This is really unnecessary for me, but I'm really appreciative. So thank you all for the support, and here we go. Alright, so apologize if I butcher any of your names, but here we go. We got Susu, Bob Ford, DJ Kenzie, YR, Still Shining, Raysan, Zeldris Block, Martha Shepard, Flo, Based Buffett, All Dusty, Ice-T, Nathan Flowers, Muhaba Noir, Furious Destroyer, Jody Malikan, LOL Just Kidding Mate, Struggler Indeed, Allure A, Sean Cameron, Labels Canon YouTube, Steel Solid, K Principal 87, Bad Company Gaming, 999 Durag, Ball, Legend Has It, Lost Silhouette 166, Eerie Moon, Tyler Rayland, Bun Bun NT Mythologist, Griffin Sebastian, Commander, Good Old Chippy 1, Flaming Venom, Adrius Loaiza, Aja 23, Anthony Mojo 92, Weeping Shadow, Ankuda, A Sylveon, Stampoid 090WD, Lonely Spacer, Atlas, Peepo Pago, Code Porsche, Andre Popa, Call Me Marshmallow Allen, Fly TK Society, Mr. Sir, Mitchell Howe, Nicholas Gomez, Morgan Adays, Baldsky, XX Content Anxiety XX, Ill Corrupted, Muhammad Salami, K Lol, Ryuzaki Madhav, LJ, sorry I can't read Japanese, T, Tonga Pindan, Abdu, Potak, Tatris Maximus, Igios, Nazi Pendang, Yu Jai Jun, Bard, Booth, Aaron AJ, Muhammad Enriquez, Calm Chowder, Loyal, William Bliss Jr., Salik Smith, Santos Kulas, Santos Kasula, Brandon Williams, Scott Maverick Baku, XXCJEXX, Erect as a Duck, The Ninja Spy X01, The Ifmon, LOL Hero, Big Rob, and finally Gecko Girl 47. Thank you all for commenting on my last video. It truly means a lot, and I'll keep making videos. Alright, later y'all. Peace.
目覚めたまえ我が主たちよ